broadcast you're about to view is brought to you by justinform.com, a social media site where your data's never stolen, your name's never sold. Go to justinform.com, become a member of a social media site where information is shared, regardless to political affiliation. Coffee with Tim Black. Coffee with Tim Black. That's right. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you, people. Welcome to Coffee with Tim Black. I'm your host, Tim Black, of course. Glad you can make it on this Friday. Very good, very good. I got my people all around the country and beyond the country. We got some people from Canada who watch the show, Germany, Australia. Give it up for my international viewers. Speaking of viewers, let me jump in my chat room real quick and make sure that I have my chat loaded up, because I think the chat will be very interesting, and I definitely am. I got a feeling people are going to have something to say today. Well, they do every day, but this will be I think this is going to be a special, high-powered day of conversation. All right, guys. Here we go. Now, the reason why I'm late is because there's so much to cover, okay? And I hate to keep you guys waiting, but if you're going to come, you got to try to come correct, especially when you're waiting on a verdict. I was waiting on this verdict, and it did come in. So, one more. All right, guys. So I think we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Hello, guys. The reason why I was late today is because I was waiting on a verdict for a 2014 case, which I've been covering since 2014. It's the case of Laquan McDonald, 17-year-old young man who was shot and killed by the man on the screen here, former Chicago Police Department officer Van Dyke. Now, Van Dyke, he shot this young man several times. It's a very famous case. But it's not only about Van Dyke and him shooting Laquan McDonald dead in the streets that night. It's also about the Chicago Police Department, which did everything they could in their power to keep this story under wraps. It's been reported that Rahm Emanuel did not want this story to go public. Mayor Rahm Emanuel. And what happened after the fallout of this whole case was we discovered that this was not just about Van Dyke. It was about the chief of police who was terminated. It was about other officers that lied for Van Dyke in reports. It's about the folks who tried to hide body camera footage. They even went so far to try to hide the McDonald's footage that was across the street from the actual incident that occurred. So yeah, there was a lot of corruption all the way across the board on this case. Well, today, this came to a head as the verdict for Van Dyke was read today. I had to tune into it. I had to bring it to you. Actually, I went live on Instagram because this case, it just touched me in ways beyond some other cases. Because the complicity between the mayor's office, the police department, it was so far-reaching. It's not that strange, but it was all caught red-handed. So with that, guys, here goes the courtroom proceeding. And I have some actual footage as the verdicts were read about Van Dyke.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of second-degree murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm.
Well, unfortunately, guys, it sounds like that audio is just way too low. So I will go ahead and do an overdub for you, right? Jury found a white Chicago officer guilty of second-degree murder and multiple counts of aggravated battery in the 2014 shooting of Laquan McDonald. Van Dyke was charged with first-degree murder, 16 counts of aggravated battery, and 1 count of official misconduct. Juries had the option of convicting the officer of second-degree murder. He was found guilty of second-degree murder, all 16 counts of aggravated battery, and not guilty of official misconduct. A judge revoked bail for Van Dyke. All right, guys. So let's bring the Mr. Officer, former Officer Van Dyke on the screen over there while we go through this. So the officer was found guilty of 16 counts of aggravated assault. That aggravated assault, or actually a battery, aggravated battery, the 16 accounts were for every bullet that Van Dyke fired at Laquan McDonald. Very significant that the number 16 is used, because it means that the jury understands and agrees that every shot that left the gun of Van Dyke was unnecessary. Not only was the taking of his life, but every decision that he made to pull the trigger was unnecessary. That's very significant. I made a Instagram post last night. I was up till maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and I said I kind of want to prepare myself and prepare my viewers for the verdict. Just bracing like, hey, I think he should get 5 years per shot. I hope for the best, but I brace myself for the worst. And that's what we have to do in these cases, because we have no control over what juries decide to do.
For a second, please.
But I'm glad this is the verdict that we received today. But I want to be clear. We should not be receiving a verdict today to be glad about. Laquan McDonald did not pose a serious threat to this officer. And the reason why I know he didn't pose a serious threat to this officer is because the officer had to lie in order to try to justify his actions. And all of the other officers that were on the scene that night, none of them even pulled their weapon. Not only was Van Dyke the only one to shoot 16 times, 12 or 13 of those shots while the young man was laid on the ground
Mr. Herbert,
with a small pocket knife in his hand.
ladies and gentlemen,
But he's the only one who took a life. He's the only one who shot Laquan McDonald. So,
has been convicted of a
ladies and gentlemen, I feel good about it, but I also feel like this was very much avoidable. I saw some folks who covered this story for various networks. I don't give wiggle room. I don't give leeway. I don't give any quarter to bastards like Van Dyke who take lives unnecessarily. We don't support officers being gunned down was the case just yesterday in South Carolina. Well, I damn sure don't support officers gunning down civilians. I don't know why that's so hard to understand.
This now your verdict, meaning was that then in the jury room?
Anyway, be that as it may, ladies and gentlemen, you got the verdict. We will find out what the actual time, the sentencing is, held separately from the verdict. So we're going to find out what's going to happen as far as how much time Van Dyke gets. I'm sure he will appeal, and we will be tracking it right here on TTL Media, Tim Black TV. You best believe it. Thank you.
Were those then and are these now your verdicts? Yes. Juror 244, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
That crazy or what? All right, all right. I think that's really low, is it? Yeah, something's not quite right here. That's okay, guys. Check this out. people in my chat room, we got a couple of more stories, but I'd like to get people's comments or feedback briefly on this case. This is what you call a pig, says Marcella Stevenson. Zeet, 1776, agrees with Marcella. We also have Hempster Wild says, the only channel I know to cover this story is PBS. I'm a channel. I covered it. I'm going to keep on covering it too. Laura Lynch is here. You can hear me fine. Thank you, Stephen Kabides. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Well, look, guys, this is where I remind you. I remind you because I have to remind you that this show is brought to you by you. I know you thought I was going to say Democratic Party or Republican Party or some Soros or Koch brother like entity. Nah, I'm not going to say that because it's not true. This show is brought to you by you. So if you value what we do here, if you understand that it's important to have independent media that gets the word out on stories that aren't going to be really covered in mainstream media, and if they are covered in mainstream corporate media where money controls everything, cash rules everything, they're not going to be reported from the same vantage point as someone who does not get paid to say certain things and have to kiss the butt of advertisers in order to get unfiltered news, the type of news you can use. You guys support independent media. To do that today, go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. You can also email me at tim@timblacktv.com. Also, you can find us now on Roku. So, go to Roku, guys. Check it out. If you like the Tim Black Show, you enjoy watching it, well, now you can watch us on Roku. That's right. Go to Roku and get your Tim Black TV fix. Go Roku, Tim Black TV, and I'll pop right up. Same shows you watch on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, now available on Roku. Oh, and make sure you leave a review. A good one. Peace. Simple. If you like the Tim Black Show, you enjoy watching it, well, now you can watch us on Roku. That's right. Go to Roku and get your Tim Black TV fix. Go Roku, Tim Black TV, and I'll pop right up. Same shows you watch on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, now available on Roku. Oh, and make sure you leave a review. A good one. Peace. Simple. If you like the Tim Black Show, you enjoy watching it, well, now you can watch us on Roku. That's right. Go to Roku and get your Tim Black TV fix. Go Roku, Tim Black TV, and I'll pop right up. Same shows you watch on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, now available on Roku. Oh, and make sure you leave a review. A good one. Peace. Simple. If you like the Tim Black Show, you enjoy watching it, well, now you can watch us on Roku. That's right. Go to Roku and get your Tim Black TV fix. All right. Go Roku, Tim Black TV, and I'll pop right up. Same shows you watch on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, now available on Roku. Oh, and make sure you leave a review. A good one. All right, guys. I don't know what happened with that. Something went crazy. I didn't mean to be in promo mode that long, but I had to be because I had to get stuff right. Okay, so hope everybody can hear me because we got a couple more stories. You can see I'm feeling a little pumped up. I should feel pumped up. Had a little justice served today. All right? I love justice. Justice is a good thing. And it's rare, we rarely going to get it now. I said we rarely going to get justice, so when you get justice, you got to feel a little good about it. It's okay. Okay. All right, so as you all know, Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh is the next major story I'd like to cover, guys, because, well, hey, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Kavanaugh. And Brett Kavanaugh's vote, the vote to move this forward to a vote, is what happened today.
Are there any senators in the chamber who wish to change their vote? As a reminder to our guests in the galleries, expressions of approval or disapproval. Are there any senators?
Now, before we do this, let me give you a little bit of background just so that people know what took place and the significance of what took place today. Okay? Because it's not that obvious what the hell is going on with this case. All right? So we're good. Check this out, guys. Brett Kavanaugh, they were voting to decide if they were going to move to the actual vote. It's something that's called a kotor. I think that's how you pronounce it, which actually means closure. So they had a vote to decide if they were going to be moving to the vote stage, and they will no longer debate if they're going to take this to a vote. This is just the procedural rules that the Senate goes by in order to make votes. So that's what happened today. And what the results were was a 51-49. Okay, a 51-49 vote. 51 for, 49 against. Okay? All right. Now, this sort of hinged on these four, actually I'm going to call it 4 Republicans. Because one of them is a Democrat, but for all purposes, all reasons, all things that you can make this person a Democrat, they're a Republican. You might as well just call them a Republican. So everything hinged on the votes of Susan Collins, Joe Manchin, which is that Democrat who might as well be a Republican because he votes with them all the time, Jeff Flakey, and Murkowski. Okay? So everything hinged on the shoulders of these 4, and this is what it's coming down to. Okay, so now that makes sense, here goes the vote, not on Kavanaugh being nominated, not the nomination vote if he will proceed to the bench as an associate justice, but a vote to see if we're going to move to the vote. All right? All right, here we go. Hope that makes sense, y'all. I mean well. I want everybody to know what's going on. Let's try this.
Are there any senators in the chamber who wish to change their vote? As a reminder to our guests in the galleries, expressions of approval or disapproval are not permitted in the Senate galleries. On this vote, the yeas are 51, the noes are 49. The motion is agreed to.
All right, there you have it. There you have it. 51-49. I think you can see that here on the screen here. 51-49, folks. Now, this has been a highly contested nomination proceeding. Democrats have been fighting hard against the Republicans. And as you all know, there's been allegations about Brett Kavanaugh. But at the end of the day, the votes are what matter. How we feel as people, how a lot of Americans may feel about a certain issue does not have any bearing on the outcome of a vote when it comes to nominations or legislations. I didn't make it that way. This is the way it is. That's the way the system is designed. Now, what we do have as citizens is we have pressure that we can apply. We have influence that we can wield on our elected officials that if you don't do our bidding, well, you won't have a job. Now, some people have called that type of pressure bribery, such as the case with Susan Collins. Now, there's an activist led by A.D. Barkin, have raised $1.9 million in pledges for a future Democratic opponent of Senator Susan Collins. Now, it's important to know Ms. Collins ran on being, she's in Maine, first of all. She's a Republican out of Maine. She's a senator. She ran on being someone who makes decisions based on what she feels, not so much toting party line. And Rhode Island can actually go either way. It's a purple state. So things are dicey for Ms. Collins in Rhode Island. And now we have these Democratic activists saying, if you vote for Kavanaugh, we're not only not going to vote you back in, we're going to make sure you have a challenger that is viable because we're going to raise money to make them viable. Yeah. The problem with this strategy is that Susan Collins is well compensated for her, her votes. Oh yeah, she's a monumental, she's a fundraising extraordinaire. She's funded by the likes of General Dynamics and Raytheon, defense contractors. She's never in the need of money, and any amount of money that you'll raise, well, she'll just raise more. That's what she does. She's prolific in her fundraising abilities, as are most Republicans and most establishment Democrats. So that's the thing about it. But what I find interesting is these scumbags like Ted Cruz calling this bribery. So it's bribery when citizens try to take control of the political process and tell a public servant, hey, if you don't vote the way we think you should vote, then we're going to fund your challenger. That's bribery. That's extortion. But when corporations slide her millions of dollars, fund her campaigns, that's just business as usual. Y'all don't see the irony in this? These motherfuckers are crazy. And yes, I said motherfuckers. The hypocrisy is so thick, you need some jelly on that peanut butter. This is what we deal with. This is how corrupt our system is. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. As I stated, her top contributors are General Dynamics, Raytheon, but she gets busy with other industries such as Marriott International, Microsoft. So she gets around. She gets around, folks. She gets around. And, I want to also state that, and I keep saying this, I'm going to keep on saying it because I think it matters, y'all. My issues with Kavanaugh go beyond the allegations about Kavanaugh. I have issues with the way he ruled as a judge in D.C. I have issues with legislation he helped craft for George W. Bush, policies he helped draft for George W. Bush. Kavanaugh was a horrible option to begin with, regardless of what allegations are out there. So they want to make this about, did he do something when he was in high school? And I'm telling you, why die on that hill? Why can't we fight him for what he did for Bush? Oh, but we can't because Bush is a favorite now. Yeah, just because he took us to illegal wars under false pretenses and killed a million of Iraqis and, 20,000 Americans wounded and I don't know how many killed. We forgot all about that because, we got Trump in office. So now we like Bush. Baby Bush. It's the hypocrisy of our democracy, folks. Kavanaugh is a bad option. They won't say why he's a bad option because to them, they want to keep it on something that keeps division and will help them win votes. But if they start talking about illegal wars, lies in office, Patriot Act and stripping of our rights, our citizens, well, then maybe some citizens will start getting pissed off and they'll wake up and see we got a lot more to fight about than somebody having some drinks and doing something or not doing something with their hands. All right, guys. I tell you. Sean Yankee said, yeah, there's many reasons not to confirm Kavanaugh. You wouldn't know if you talk to these guys, though. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Shout out to the Good Father. The Good Father. I don't know what's going on with this phone, man. Good Father, I want to give you a shout out, man, because I do appreciate you. When people send me story ideas, which is what the Good Father did. He sent me a story idea, guys. And I really need that because, we on a shoestring budget around here. We do everything on our own. We work all the gears. It's like I'm DJing. All I need is some headphones and I'm scratching, doing doing little tricks and stuff, trying to make things interesting for you to keep your attention. But when people send me story ideas and they remind me of what's important and they hold me accountable, because you got to hold people accountable. But with me, you don't understand. I live to do this. I live to buck the system. I live to speak truth to power. That's my thing. So you don't have to remind me to speak truth to power. What you have to do is remind me what priorities and what stories are most important to you. So contact me at tim@timberlaketv.com or hit me up on social media as Real Tim Black. Also, I'm on Instagram as Tim Black at Night. Come on, y'all. I know y'all use that app. Hit me up on Instagram. All right. Next, because we ain't done, guys.
Those Van and Ivy's now your verdicts.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't expecting this.
Those Van and Ivy's now
Oh, let
your
me let go of Van Dyke. Van Dyke, we done with you. All right, we done with you. Now, there we go. I wasn't expecting this. Bette Midler, she said some things that were very troubling on Twitter. I don't sit around going, "Oh, I can't wait to see what Bette Midler's going to say so I can give her a verbal smackdown." That's not my thing. But what I do is I chime in on conversations because that's what social media is for. That's what we do. And particularly when I feel that somebody is downplaying the plight of people that I care about, downplaying, rewriting history, and doing so at the peril of others. And I don't appreciate that, and I will stand up to it. Now, Bette Midler, I'm not saying Bette Midler's a bad person. I'm not saying that Bette Midler didn't do some good things. In fact, she does some good stuff. Okay? I'm not saying she's never done anything good. I'm not saying that something bad should happen to her. I'm not saying that she can't act. I'm not saying she can't sing. I'm not saying she's not a successful person. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is her damn tweet, her tweet, for whatever reason, whatever made her send that tweet, was a wrong tweet to send. Now, probably at this point, you wondering, Tim Black, what tweet you talking about, man? I don't know. I don't even have Twitter. I'm on Facebook, man. And that's okay, that's okay. I'm going to tell you what tweet, right? And I got to make sure this thing's working. So let's check and see. Is this thing working? Let me know if you can hear this, because we're about to go to some other stuff. And this thing is just jacked up, guys. Ain't nothing I can do with it. Let me try that one more time, guys. So look, guys, I want to be clear, man. And TJ, when you cut this and try to make this right, just know I tried, son. There we go. I could not get my sound, man. I need my sound. I know it's janky. Cut that. All right, so Bette Midler, she made a comment on Twitter. Let me show you what the comment was. All right? Okay, so. Here we go. Bette Midler. No. Apologies. There's so much here. Well, you know what? We'll go to my comment, because in my comment, I use her comment, right? No, that's not the one. My comments. Here we go. All right. Let me get out the way a little bit. Here we go. Now, this is what Bette Midler said, which was problematic, okay? I didn't make it problematic. She made it problematic. This is what she said. She said, "Women are the N-word of the world." Women are the N-word of the world. Now, there are already N-words. We didn't make that name up. It was given to us by our friends. So, this is a horrible tweet. It's a horrible tweet. Then she goes on to describe the plight of women. They get raped, they get beaten, enslaved, married off, work like dumb animals, denied education and inheritance, enduring the pain and danger of childbirth, life in silence for thousands of years. They are the most disrespected creatures on earth. And to that I responded, this is why we can't have nice things. Black women were literally and legally property. Fact, many white women own abused slaves right along with their husbands. Ever seen a lynching picture? Guess what you didn't see? White women crying. Respect American history. All right. So look, guys. I want to make sure that you know there are women who held this thing down. There are women who addressed Bette Midler's comments, who got more reach than me. This tweet I sent, it did pretty good. But there are women who spoke up. There are women who spoke up louder, more pointedly, made better points. So I support them. I'm not here to take shine from women at all. No. All right? All right, I'm not here to take shine from black women. All right, let me be clear, specific. I'm not here to take shine from black women. They don't need me fighting their fights. But, you know, if I'm around, if I see something, I'm going to comment. I'm going to do my part. That's all I did was my part. I ain't a saint because I did this. Anyway, back to the point. Now, I want you guys to know, Bette Midler, she's singing We Are the World with Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. She did that. It's for a good cause. Bette Midler also, she gives to charities. Very charitable sister. She does a lot of positive things. One of the projects she has is the New York Restoration Project. Projects designed to restore green areas and neighborhoods with low-income homes. So she wants kids in the inner city, in the concrete jungle, to see some green under their feet. Wow, I love that. I think that's so cool, man. That's what's up. But that don't negate what she did here. That doesn't take away or that doesn't cancel out this stupid ass tweet that she defended, no doubt, no less. So anyway, here goes Bette Midler's comment about a tweet. All right? Because I think she should have just said, hey, guys, I screwed up. Let me get back up out of here. Here's the deal. Bette Midler was paraphrasing the title of a 1972 song written by Lennon and Ono. Much like the response Lennon and Ono received at the time of the song's release, Midler was met with outrage on Twitter. Well, outrage on Twitter, because there was no Twitter back in 70, whatever this was, 72. People condemned the actress and called on her to delete the tweet, which would receive 14,000 likes and more than 8,000 replies, majority of which were critical, according to USA Today. Now, here goes Bette Midler's apology. Bette Midler says, the two brief investigations of allegations against Kavanaugh infuriated me. Angrily, I tweeted, without thinking my choice of words would be enraging to black women who doubly suffer, both by being women and by being black. I am an ally and stand with you, always have, and I apologize. All right. Now, I understand people make mistakes. All right? This is this sister's comment to Bette Midler. She says, how the media and society treats black women being missing, murdered, raped, abused, compared to white women isn't even comparable. Let me say that one more time, y'all. How the media and society treat black women being missing. How often do you hear stories about missing black women? You know, kidnapped, abducted black women. Not that often. Murdered, raped, abused, compared to white women isn't even comparable. Our worth, our value is and always has been less than white women. All right? That was her comment. That was positive trifecta. Positive trifecta. Give it up for her. All right? Now, I just want to end the story about Bette Midler by saying this. The saddest thing about Bette Midler's comments is that she is, or we consider her an ally. We consider her woke and aware. But even woke aware people need to be more woke, more aware. We all have stuff to learn. There are people defending Bette Midler at the expense of black women. Look, it's not divisive to call out a horrible statement. When you have a huge platform and you have a huge reach and people care what you say, that's a privilege. It's a privilege for her to promote whatever shows she's doing or whatever charity she's spearheading. It's also a responsibility that when you have a platform that big, that you try to get it right. And when you don't get it right, the best thing to do is apologize immediately and put it behind you. I happen to know this. Now, I am nothing compared to Bette Midler. But when you have a stage, you have a chance of falling on it and failing and screwing up. So when you do screw up, you got to own it and own it quickly. Bette Midler did not own it quickly. She doubled down. She was wrong. You can't compare the struggle of black women with white women when white women own black women. What the hell are we not getting here? Black women suffer all types of forms of discrimination and far exceed that of white women. If you don't understand that, Bette Midler, and anybody defending Bette Midler, then you don't understand this country. You don't understand history, nor do you understand the present. And if you don't do that, then how are we going to deal with the future? And it is our job to make sure that you understand. It's our job to speak up, hold you accountable, and correct the record. That's our job. We're not paid to do it. I'm not paid to do it. I do it because it's the right thing to do. I'm not saying that Bette Midler is the worst person in the world. There are far worse people, I'm sure. What I'm saying is she was wrong yesterday. Last night, her ass was wrong, and she got corrected. That's it. Stop caping. Can't defend the indefensible. And if you don't understand that, oh, and one last thing. To the brother that tells me I'm being divisive for calling out wrong statements, like I'm supposed to ignore it, you, sir, are part of the problem. You are the problem. Correction is needed. Maybe you don't care because it's not your daughter, sister, aunt, wife, or mother, or grandmother that we're referring to. Maybe then you feel a little bit different. All right. Good day to you, Miss Bette Midler. Good day to you, almost. All right, I got one more story, guys. I got one more.
Are there any senators in the chamber who wish to change their vote?
They're not going to change their vote. I try to tell people what's going to happen with this now.
Approval or disapproval are not permitted in the Senate galleries.
Stop. All right. Not happy about it. It is what it is. We can't lie to ourselves. All right. So now, guys. So I'm sure many of you have heard about Amazon and Jeff Bezos and how, well, Amazon announced that they were going to be upping the pay, increasing the wages of its workers, that employees will be receiving at least $15 an hour. That was across the board. That was also not only for Amazon employees, but Whole Foods employees. Then if you kept on following the story, you find out that that was sort of like a very sneaky way of Jeff Bezos to also undercut them in other ways, such as benefits, incentives, bonuses. Yeah, he stripped all that down because, well, he can. He can. But that doesn't mean we don't keep up the good fight. And that doesn't mean that we weren't on the right track. Everyone won't get away with it like Jeff Bezos. Everyone will not escape the wrath. And I believe if more of us band together, we can still change things over there in Amazon land. We stop buying his products, he'll have a change of heart. Either that or he'll sell. Well, speaking of change of heart, one person who does not have a change of heart is Bernie Sanders. Now, as I reported before, Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna, congressman out of California who's been on this show a couple of times, they had some legislation about the stopping of subsidies to these big corporations that screw over their employees. And I don't know what world you're from, but it doesn't make sense that we give subsidies, which are tax breaks, big tax breaks to corporations, and then we turn around and have to subsidize employees that work for them, because even though they make billions of dollars in profit, not gross, but profit, that's extra money, billions of dollars, they won't pay their employees enough money so that they don't need food stamps and public assistance and housing. I mean, come on. People deserve a decent wage, especially if you got it. So anyway, this brings me to McDonald's. McDonald's as well should be paying their employees $15 an hour. That's right. The fast food chain, Senator Bernie Sanders is focusing his ire on now is McDonald's. He wants McDonald's to give all his employees a raise to the $15 mark at least. In a letter to CEO Steve Easterbrook on Thursday, Sanders demanded McDonald's boost workers' paychecks and let the workers unionize. See, that's what we need. We need unions. Sanders previously called on Amazon, Jeff Bezos for the same thing. He said this. He said, if McDonald's raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour and respected the constitutional rights of its workers to form a union, it would set an example for the entire fast food industry. That's what people don't get. Now, I understand there's some people out here who worship corporations. They think corporations are our friend. They do so many nice things. And yes, there are some good corporations. But then there's some people who don't care much about people, right? At all. And they make so much money. They're so successful. They forget that this is a world of people and communities and families. And if we don't hold them accountable, no one will. If McDonald's would have raised its wages, well, they would dominate the market because all the employees, all the best employees would go work at McDonald's, right? And who would be left to work at the other fast food chains that did not? Probably the lesser employees. Not to mention the public scrutiny, the backlash, people like your brother Tim Black putting out content. Hell, man, we could make some noise. We could apply some pressure. So it's not just about McDonald's raising its wages. It's about the ripple effect on the others. Bernie Sanders said that the McDonald's corporation is not a poor corporation. They ain't hurting for money. It's not like they can't afford to do it. The company made $5.2 billion profit last year on nearly $23 billion in sales. McDonald's is a healthy business. Revenue has increased recently as McDonald's offered better food and technology. I support this legislation. I support the call. I support the Stop Bezos, Stop Bad Employers Subsidizing, zero out their subsidies. That's what you do. I support that act by Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna. I support this initiative to not just make it about Amazon, but make it about Walt Disney. Make it about McDonald's. Make it about Target. Make it about all of them. There's certain criteria. So, look, guys, this is important. It matters. Unions. It's not just about the hourly wage. It's about unionizing. All right? Unionizing, giving workers the ability to fight back and to control their lives somewhat. If you do a decent day's work, you deserve a decent day's pay. All right, folks, I appreciate you being here. I want to go to my chat room and see who's in the house. Collective bargaining, said ZZ. Collective bargaining. Cat 51 said those who blame Bernie because of what Bozo pulled can go to hell. Yes, I feel you. I feel you guys. I do. And look, and it's not I don't think it's up to debate. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yo. We had some super chat people in the house. James Curtis. James Curtis just gave us a donation via super chat. Thank you, James Curtis. He says, I value Tim Black reports. Mr. K. Jones says, no Roku for me, but I support you and appreciate you coming from different angles. Thank you, Miss K. Jones. I support you. We support one another. Thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. I got content for days. You don't need to have Roku. You can find me other ways. All right? It's not many of us who are willing to speak up about these issues because it's not that popular, man. You'd be surprised the backlash you get. But you know what? I realize that I got to sleep at night, look in the mirror at night, in the morning or at night, and feel good about who I am. So anyway, that's why we do what we do here. We feel it's the right thing to do. Oh, guys, please. Tonight is Freedom Friday. If you don't know, that's where you get to call up and you get to speak your mind. Yeah, that's right. We open the phone lines. We don't screen calls. So if you call in tonight, in fact, let me jump over here, guys. Coffee. I want to jump over here and put this on the phone. Put this actually, our phone number up on the screen. Where's our phone number? Let's try this. Let's see. Well, we got a P.O. box. That's one thing people need. People are asking me about the P.O. box, and people are asking me about the phone number. So there we go. Both of them on the screen now. P.O. box and phone number. Some people say, Tim, I got an item I would love to put to display in your shop because people watch your show, and I could send you something that you could put in the shop. So go ahead and do that at P.O. Box 701, Bryan's Road, Maryland, 20616. It's on the screen. Take a screenshot. And also, guys, that's the phone number, 319-527-6212, is the number you call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to speak your mind. All right. Hope you got it. Booyah. All right. That's all I got for today. I will see you tomorrow. Well, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until we talk again, guys, remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread, and don't be arguing with these people about the Laquan McDonald trial. Don't argue with them about Bette Midler, how wrong she was. Just sprinkle some facts on them. That's what you do. Peace. Coffee with Tim Black. Coffee with Tim Black. Coffee with Tim Black. That's right.